Hey, how we doing, friends? Coach Jason, Arm Pitching Development. Hey, I wanted to share a couple of things to you on how to develop and build a pitching program for yourselves this year and what's required of that and what goes on inside of that. It's a little bit noisy in here today at Arm Pitching Development, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to take this out back into our baseball facility outside and let you guys look around a little bit bigger. Things to think about when you're developing your pitching program or things you want to get done heading into your season as a baseball pitcher. I know I have a lot of parents and coaches that watch my videos, and the important thing is arm care and arm health should be number one. You get one opportunity at this and you want to make the most of it. So when we talk about arm care and arm health, think of it in three terms, or three process or 3 points. The first one you want to dive into is your pre-routine. What do you do up front before you throw or before you pitch? And how are you taking care of your arm during that time, or what is your process behind that? So the first one we do here at Arm Pitching Development with my guys is we do an active warm-up to begin with. And usually what that entails with is body activation. We do a jump rope usually. We do a lot of plyometric movements, and if you don't know what plyometric movements are, check out my video in the pop-up right here and you'll know what I'm talking about. Plyometric movements are fantastic for a good build-up, and you know, one of the important things is when I go to train baseball pitchers, I don't train pitcher first, I train athlete first. The plyometric movements really gives us an opportunity to train just that, the athlete. We have jump rope, we have plyometric movements, and then we'll go into some shoulder care, some shoulder warm-up routine stuff. And I'm talking, we'll get out our pipes, and I think if you've seen our videos before, we'll bring out some PVC pipes and we'll do some FRC openers. Try to get the wrist loosened up, try to get the shoulders really kind of opened up and ready to go. Then we might hit some J-bands. So after we get done with our pipes and our J-bands, after our activation, we'll do plyo throws, the little plyo balls that you've seen us throw around in the gym a little bit. We'll have a specific program for those guys, a specific number each day, depending on the day of the week and depending on what workload they're coming off of from their weekend or their high school season, what day of the week they've been throwing. So important is your pre. Now, on step number 2 is what is your inactivity? So your during activity. How does your arm feel while you're throwing? Getting loose for your start or for your bullpen, how is your arm feeling? So when you go in activity, that would be the act or course pitching inside of a game or a practice game or whatever have you. You need to be extremely clear with yourself about how your arm is feeling and how much work you want to put through for that day, depending on how your arm feels. And so really listening to yourself and listening to your arm about where it's at and is it fatigued? If it's fatigued, then you want to definitely scale down your reps for that day, and you need to be very, very transparent with your coaching staff about what your arm is going through for that day if you're on start. But going back to the plan or the process, how you build up heading into that start is really going to indicate how your arm feels. I'm not talking specifically about a relief pitcher. It's a little bit different because their on days and off days can be awkward. And as a relief pitcher coming from experience, I generally suffered from a lot of arm pain from having to overthrow a lot during the course of my seasons. So starting pitchers in my book get a little bit easier take because of the rest days, where relief pitchers seem to be throwing quite a bit more. So we need to be very conscious about the duration and volume of your workload throughout your course of your week. So paying attention to inactivity is going to be extremely important in listening and understanding about how your arm's feeling at that moment. So once we have our pre-throwing done, we have our inactivity understood, arm health, where are we at for that day? And then we're going to look at it from a post-throwing perspective. This can be extremely beneficial to you if you do this right and you really understand what your post throwing looks like. Got several videos out there in our recovery playlist page that I invite you to check out that dive into some post recovery workouts and exercises that you can do that will help you come back faster as a pitcher, especially as a relief pitcher. So if you're a coach or a parent and you're looking for some advice on how to get guys out of arm soreness all the time, let's take a look at the post game or post throwing recovery. And I'm talking about after practices and games, or any time that we're throwing a ball, really. Post has a lot to do for me with mobility and recovery of the joint that you're using, your shoulder joint, your elbow joint, and the muscles that surrounding that and the supporting muscle tissues that are surrounding that joint. We want to bring the muscles back down into a more natural state or a more comfortable state. After your activity, everything gets really bound up, lactic acid builds in, and everything gets really constricted. So we want to flush that a little bit, and the recovery process really helps you do that, and it helps you come back the next day. I'm not going to say stronger the next day, but it will help you come back faster. So when we're talking about ending it, and hello, good to see you. Really important is the post-game or post-activity approach for you guys out there. If you can implement some routine that makes sense for you and your team, I encourage you to do that. Going back to the point of where you have guys that are pitching in the youth circuit and then they're having to go play shortstop or third base or outfield, we really want to help them get back, especially if you're playing on a Friday or Saturday night and you got to play on Sunday as well. Let's get those arms feeling healthy. I've posted a ton of material on this stuff throughout the channel, and I invite you guys to go look at it. Thanks for tuning in today. Some tips for you, some ways to look at building up your pitching process, what it looks like. We're going to go pre, we're going to go during, and then we're going to go post. So if you'll operate inside of those three and set together a good plan throughout the week. I know I didn't lay out your weekly plan for you, but I don't know what you're going through each day, and that's kind of individualized. So it's a person or an athlete to athlete situation. So thanks for taking time for viewing the video today. Coach Jason, your free online resource for pitching tips, drills, exercises, and workouts. So until I shoot the next video, I'll see you guys next time.